8:15 right here on this Saturday morning with Spark and Damo filling in for Dr. Dan.
Yes, and of course it is time for us to now take you back in time and our local history. And we do that with only one person. That is historyouthere.com's very own Harold the H. Peacock, who is on the line. Good morning, mate.
Yes, good morning, Damo and Sparky. That was a pretty good answer.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Well, we put a lot of enthusiasm into that.
Did.
Now, listen, before we get too far, I know you were listening to Jeremy Ryland's segment about chewing gum, and you've got some of your own advice on that segment.
Oh, well, you did say that smelling farts can be healthy. Well, it is actually. There is indication that hydrogen sulfide is good for you, but as always, everything in moderation.
That's it.
So just take it easy.
Exactly. And if you're caught in the lift, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway.
At least you're being healthy, though, right?
Well, that's true, but yes.
To an extent.
As the old saying is, better out than in. But anyway. Now, listen, mate, we're going to take our listeners back 117 years today to when the governor visited Ipswich.
Yes, that's right. Go back those 117 years, and Andrew Barlow's 1909 Ipswich secret aggravated the governor of Queensland so much. But there was also another ghostly secret that he had as well. So I'll tell you about all of that.
Yeah.
You see, Andrew Barlow arrived in Ipswich in 1878 when he was appointed the manager of Ipswich's Bank of Australasia. Now, his home was a historic Rosemont. It's still there. Like, it was built in 1872 with a beautiful cedar and lead light entry and all that. And it's still there in Burnett Street and Sadler's Crossing today. So next open house, go have a look, but people live there, so don't go in any time. So take it easy. Now, Barlow won the seat of Ipswich in Queensland's Legislative Assembly and had a really long and unusual parliamentary career. It went for 27 years. You see, he was called the continuous minister, and that's because no matter which party was in power, he always ended up being a minister. So that on that. But in 1909, while Barlow was serving as the Minister for Education, he was speaking at the prize giving of Ipswich's Technical College. Now, that's when he let slip that he had a secret. But then he shut up. He wouldn't say any more. No one could get it out of him on the night, not even the Queensland Governor, Lord Chelmsford, who was there with him at Ipswich. Now, Lord Chelmsford, well, he went on to become the Governor of New South Wales and the Viceroy of India. And he was aggravated and actually half joked about applying a form of torture. He even suggested that he'd take Barlow from Ipswich to Brisbane in the government motor car and drive at top speed in an effort to get Barlow to spill his secret. But bear in mind, Damo, in 1909, the top speed was probably only about 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So it might have been too terrifying. Anyway, Barlow was reported as just sitting there throughout the night in Ipswich, blandly gazing at the audience with a placid and immobile stare of an Egyptian sphinx. So he had a secret. The existence of that secret even made the newspapers, but still Barlow wouldn't say a word. Now, the governor, who was upset, and then the Ipswich public, they didn't have to wait long, because just a couple of days later, the newspapers reported that Barlow had revealed the secret by announcing the groundbreaking legislation that proved to be really historic. You see, Barlow announced the Central Technical College Act of 1909. I know you're across that.
Oh, yes.
Now, it formally established Queensland's first government-run institution for technical and vocational education. Now, what that means is this was the moment when technical training shifted from community-based School of Arts committees to a fully state-supported system. It eventually became the Queensland University of Technology, or QUT. It all began, that secret, in Ipswich. So QUT has us to thank for that. And so that was Barlow's big secret that kept the governor and everyone else upset. But he had other secrets as well. I'll tell you about that. In 1873, Barlow had married Eleanor Outridge, and so joined a really notable and ghostly family. His brother-in-law was Percy Outridge, who was Australia's leading pearler and one of the richest men in Queensland. Barlow's nephew, Leslie Outridge, was the last to fire a gun before a fatal shooting accident at the Ipswich Central State School, Fate. and he later survived the sinking of the Centaur in the Second World War. And Damo, for those of us with an interest in the supernatural, Barlow's sister-in-law was Esther Outridge, whose ghost haunts the Hamilton and the Alexandra College in country Victoria today. So Damo and Sparky, next time you feel that a politician isn't telling you the full story, just pause, because there might be a ghostly reason, so give them a break. Or if you really need to know the secret, just go to the governor and she might arrange some sort of regal torture, just like in Ipswich 117 years ago.
Well, there you go, mate. Fantastic
so
story. And, well, politicians selling porcupines, I think that's a regular occurrence these days. But anyway.
Yeah, well, blame the ghosts. But just torture. Apply torture and you'll get it out of them.
There you go.
That's the governor's lesson.
Now, mate, how can people find out or maybe read that story over again?
Yeah, you can go find History Out There on all the socials on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and they all point to my website, historyouthere.com.
There you go, historyouthere.com, and a great story all those years ago, 117 years ago, and the governor visiting Ipswich with that secret there was the ghostly secret. Always like it when we have those mysterious ones, Harold.
Yes, well, there's a lot going on that's mysterious, including, smelling those farts. But again, everyone, keep that in moderation.
You're a man after my own heart, a fart man. Thank you so much for that, Harold, and we'll look forward to catching up again next week.
See you then.
There you go. Harold Peacock, done and dusted for another week. We'll be back next week right here on West Bremer Radio.